Welcome back. It's time for us to spotlight yet another woman who is doing big things within a small space, or, big space, if you will. Being joined in the program by civil and structural engineer, decorative painting and interior aesthetics engineer Barakat Adesina. Joins us from our Kano studio. Thank you so much, Ms. Adesina, for coming on the program.
Yeah, thank you very much for having me. Good morning.
So my first question, I'm sure you know this will come, is the first degree in civil engineering, second degree in structural and material engineering, certified painter with Ministry of Labor and Employment. You are also a member of the Nigerian Society of Engineers and COREN certified engineer. With all these big degrees and these big achievements, and then you now chose painting, without disparaging painting, by the way. Walk us through how that decision came to be.
Okay, thank you very much for this. I'm someone that I love structures. That's why I did civil engineering. But during my NYSC, there was a SAID program where they mentioned paint making and POP. And to me, I felt that is the aesthetic part of the structural design that I learned in school. So, because no matter what we do, there's what we call safe whenever we want to actually design a building. And it comes there that aesthetics is a part of whatever we are designing. So I felt it like this is an addition. This is actually what will bring out what we have designed. This is actually what will bring out the imagination the clients have. So that was the reason why I fell in love with painting immediately, and I took it as a profession, went to a painting school, and did a lot of training on painting. So that was what prompted that.
So when you compare what you would have gained as an engineer, given the fact that there's a lot of construction in those spaces, in those kind of spaces, and what you're doing in painting, are you happy with the decision you made? Because people will be curious to know.
I am very, very happy. Very, very happy with the decision. Though I'm not forgetting the civil engineering part I read. That's why I did my NSC and I'm also COREN certified. So maybe later in the future, I will also delve into renovation and go back to the field. But definitely I'm not leaving the painting industry, because me being in the painting industry has liberated a lot of people. I've been able to train a lot of people. And also as a female, I've been able to become an inspiration to a lot of young ladies out there. So it's something that makes me so very, very happy, because through painting, I have the ability to help a lot of people, because it does not really require you having a lot of certification before you delve into painting. So there are times I teach people the business of painting, because painting also has its business part. So it's something I'm so happy doing.
Amazing. Maybe we'll talk about the political part of you, really, but you're a paint manufacturer, am I correct?
Yes.
So, just to be clear, you are not just a painter, you manufacture paint that is then used for the painting. Walk us through that process, because we're big on encouraging manufacturers in Nigeria, ensuring that we ramp up production in the country. But how easy or tough is it to be a manufacturer of paint? Something very, very delicate, because one little mistake, one color issue or texture issue, the paint is wasted. So how tricky is that sector?
Normally, I do tell people that manufacturing generally in Nigeria is very tough. It's a tough one. There are times I tell some of my close people that upcoming manufacturers, I think federal government needs to start giving us salary or tell us, okay, go for vacation, because it's never easy. We're always having one problem to the other. There's the dollar hike, there's transportation problem, there's lighting issues. Then you come to human personnel as well. It's a whole lot of headache. But paint industry is something that it has its own challenges as well. But one thing keeps me going and keeps me just moving on is the passion I have for the industry, that we need to reduce the level at which we import things into Nigeria. No matter what, we need to embrace and encourage manufacturers here in Nigeria. That is the only thing that can make our dollar stable, naira stable. That is the only thing that can help the economy. That is the only thing that can reduce the rate of unemployment. So me at times sitting with my team brainstorming on what to do next, how to venture into another market. Here I am in Kano. I came for a trade fair in Kano, and the reason for it is I'm planning an entrance into another market entirely. So the trade fair is something like a market research, visibility, to know what the Kano market is all about. So it's just about we having Nigeria in mind that definitely it will not be easy, but surely if we keep moving a step at a time, we'll definitely get there. So paint industry is something that is tricky. There are times we've run into some issues during manufacturing, but one thing that keeps us back is that I'm someone that I do ask for review. No matter how negative the review is, I always try to sit down and look at what the problem is, because we know we cannot actually get it right from the onset. So from the start, I have this mindset that when we pull it out, we ask people, okay, what is left? What do we need to do better? Then we'll go back to the drawing board. And I'm someone that I do trainees a lot.
Right.
I train on, because my background is in civil engineering and not in chemical or chemistry.
Right.
So I do a lot of trainings just to keep up with what is going on, what is the new thing happening in the industry. And I don't just train alone, I carry my team along. We train all of them together, because it's not something I can do alone. It's a teamwork. So that has actually made the industry a favorable one, because we keep learning. It's a learning phase. We keep learning. So anything that comes in, we sit down and look at how do we work with this? What is the next line of action? What is the strategy we are deploying for this?
Right.
And it has actually been favorable for us. At least we've sold a lot of paints. We've had a lot of positive reviews.
There you go.
I was nominated as a federal government awardee some years back. So it's actually telling us that yes, we are on the right path. If we keep moving, we'll definitely get there.
And that takes me to my next question, because you're in an industry where we have big names already. If people want to buy paint, they already have their go-to, right? So you are really competing with some big names. But hey, these people also started from somewhere. They started from perhaps a very small portion before they were able to grow. Speak to us about your raw materials, for example. Are they all sourced locally? How easy is it to get them? And how are you able to compete in this industry where we have the big names, right? Do you lower your prices? What more do you offer such that people are like, okay, let me go for Barakat and not those other big names?
Okay, so this is how it works. There are some of our raw materials we source locally, like our calcium carbonate. It comes from Ilori, it comes from Hauchi. Then majorly every other raw materials we use, we buy actually from importers, people that import all these raw materials into Nigeria. Then it's easy to get, but the only issue we have is because of the dollar. It keeps increasing every now and then. Yes, and the competition is very, very fierce. It's not even about just the known brand alone. We have a lot of people that are not standard approved to produce paints that do it on a low key. It's also another competition we get from there. Then competing with the big brand is not actually, I don't believe in doing a cost penetration marketing, because we really could not compete in terms of price. Because if we are trying to compete in terms of price, we will definitely be out of the market. Because at the end of the day, we will not do something beneficial for the company to stand on. So what I actually do is that we do a cost markup, but we make it reasonable enough. It's not that very high. So we actually want to build the confidence people have in our brand first. So we're trying to do more of brand building, so people can actually understand that this product is of a quality product. So we've actually, we visit a lot of places, go to Painters Association meeting, meet with NIOB, the Institute of Builders, talk to some interior designers to tell them that this product is, apart from being certified with MANCAP by the SON, we actually put in everything to make sure that we are using the best quality raw materials to produce them. So by the time we convince people to try it, they actually used to buy more. Some of them actually used to refer us, because they're getting the paint at a is pocket friendly. It's not that very expensive, and they're getting the value for the money they paid for. So they easily refer us to others. They easily tell us, oh, go and get glitz paint, because they are getting the value for it. So we don't really compete on pricing, because if we do that, we'll definitely run out of the market very, very soon, because the big brands already had the volumes. They are already selling in volumes, and they have the mind share. So by the time we want to come in with that, we don't really have a lot of fund to do much of their PR, much of their marketing. So we do whatever we are capable of doing at our own level. Move it step by step, then we're getting there, and we're getting ahead as well.
As we wind down,
no glitz paint.
Yeah, as we wind down, good points you've raised. As we wind down, there's no way we'll have this conversation without talking about the challenges and what you will consider an appropriate intervention by government at subnational and national level in terms of policy. What will it be to help people like you?
There is a lot of policy that can help people like us, and one of it is that I think the SON are really trying, but I think they still need more. They need to do more of some things, because we used to have a lot of people adulterating our product out there. So maybe, and another policy that can help us grow as a manufacturer in Nigeria is for us to basically have all it takes in terms of the education, in terms of the machinery and everything, to supply all the paint Nigeria needs to Nigeria. We need to encourage people to buy made in Nigerian products. Those are the things that can actually help the economy. Those are the things that can reduce the rate of unemployment. So there's a lot of policy can come in terms of people should even the government itself has to learn how to patronize made in Nigerian products. Even the government, when they want to paint any space or anything, they need to put it as, it needs to start from them. So it's not all about putting policy out there. They need to lead by example. So there needs to be like projects that has to be done, and it would actually be given out to real manufacturers that manufactures this product here in Nigeria, that they can own to ransom if anything happens to all this product. So we can actually leverage on that. We can have a lot of big projects to refer to build more confidence in our clients, and that would actually help the industry at large.
Well, thank you so much, Engineer Barakat Adesina, civil engineer, civil and structural engineer, I must add, and a decorative painting and interior aesthetics specialist. Thank you so much for coming on the program.
Thank you very much for having me.
And from Kano, we will head out to the country to bring you a lady who is preserving ancestral legacy with our artistic work. On our segment we call The Morning Chapters. Join us again.